This week on Canadian Whitetail.
When we're up north, I was going to put another couple spots in. So if I did get a day off from now and then, I would have a chance to go and sit for my own whitetail.
Finally found this 5x5 I've been looking for. And he's been showing up about every second or third day, so. That's crazy.
Deer hunting is a lot like life. It's not easy, and if you want results, it's a lot of work. And like life, there's no shortcuts, no workaround or easy way to your goals. And if your goal is to hunt the biggest free-range whitetails that have ever walked, it's 365 days a year of preparation and dedication. For us, that's all fueled by a passion for whitetails, and to share these hunts and the stories of these deer on film. As do-it-yourself hunters, success means a never-ending cycle of getting ready, scouting, and setting up, until all of that work is not work anymore and it simply becomes your lifestyle and what you do. And you do it so that when the season is finally here and it's time to head in and hunt, you have a chance for that one moment, that 1 second that we all dream about, a chance to experience that feeling that when all your hard work pays off, and that giant steps out. Just a gorgeous animal. Unbelievable. Incredible deer.
Dean Partridge's Canadian Whitetail is proudly brought to you by Ozonics, undetectable, undeniable. Limb Saver, products that work. Big & J Long Range Attractants. The aroma is super strong. The range is super long. Excalibur Crossbow. The most trusted crossbows on the planet. Under Armour. Never detected. Always lethal. Elite Archery. The world's most shootable bow. Central Boiler Outdoor Wood Furnaces. Performance and value by design. Bog Pod. Monopods, bipods, and tripods. The Whitetail Institute of North America, premium food plot seed specifically engineered for whitetail deer. And by the Heater Bodysuit, #1 in cold weather hunting gear.
Over the past several years, Jason, Peterson, and I have had the good fortune to have the time to have hunted together some of the most incredible whitetails that we've featured on the program. Deer hunts that'll last a lifetime on the television show as well as in our memories. The G2 buck from season 3, a 188-inch giant off of our plots the first year that we'd built them.
That is a cool deer.
To the buck we called Blades, the first episode of Canadian Whitetail that we had ever filmed, a monster 205-inch non-typical with double, triple brow tines. Even before Canadian Whitetail ever existed, like this hunt where I filmed Jason take a heavy beam buck that we had called Pop Cans.
He's, honest to God, he's this big around at the bases. Look at the mass on this thing, it's ridiculous. Oh.
Even back near a decade to the first deer hunt that we ever shared, where Jason ended up taking a buck that I'd watched for 5 years and hunted for 2.
You got him, buddy. You got. I just shot your deer, buddy. Mikey.
Like most people though, every year schedules seem to get busier, and last fall was no exception for Jason and I. Having started our new whitetail outfitting, and Jason was going to be spending most of his fall there guiding hunters, which meant a few changes to our regular whitetail season here at home.
My plate was going to be full. with, you know, guiding, getting camp ready, hunters, my daughter, and then, you know, try myself. So my plan was, you know, when we're up north, I was going to put another couple spots in, you know, fairly close to our camp, but more on the farm fringe. So if I did get a day off from now and then, I would have a chance to go and you know, sit for my own whitetail.
This segment has been brought to you by Central Boiler Outdoor Wood Furnaces. A central boiler easily connects to your existing forced air, in-floor radiant, baseboard, or dual heat system to heat your entire home in domestic water. Central Boiler, performance and value by design.
So we come in first light this morning. We're going to set up the covert. I think we'll put it right here so we can see down these cut lines. And we'll get it set up as quiet and quick as we can, and probably try to hunt one of these deer here in the next few days. We just got in here. We set this spot up the other day, and there's a couple nice deer here. There's a big 8-pointer, 4x4, and a 6x6 I'd love to get a look at. So hopefully we can see some deer today. We seen, right off the bat, we seen some deer, and I think it was mid-afternoon that first day, finally we got a look at that 8-pointer, 4x4 that I had on the trail camera. And you know, as I looked him over more and more, it was just, I just thought he was 1 year too young, so ended up letting him walk. I don't know if we made the right choice there. I love big 4x4s, and that is a big 4x4. When he walked out, he walked straight downwind. Like straight downwind. He didn't even bust. So it's a couple weeks later, I got a new spot. There's a pretty nice 5x5, 10-pointer coming there, or through there, chasing does. He's there, he's not. He's pretty hit and miss, but he's there. He's moving through the area. I come in here to do some scouting in this. There's a big ridge system here, and put some Big and J down and a camera. And he's been showing up about every second or third day. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the spot prepped. I'm gonna throw a ground blind up here in front of the camera. So yeah, hopefully we can get on this big deer and get her done.
Welcome to this week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment. Locate, learn, set up, hunt. Brought to you by Big and J Long Range Attractants. The aroma is super strong. The range is super long.
This week's scouting segment's a little bit about being stuck in a rut and not wanting to make those changes once the season started, even when it's apparent that you need to. This is our plot property, one of the only private properties that we actually hunt. And even here, we make mistakes. All summer long, we worked on this plot, we got everything seeded. We've got set up on that south side. It's the property that we've hunted. We've watched these deer grow here for the last 6 or 7 years. We got set up, the season came, and we're in exactly the wrong spot. We planted new things in the plot. Now that fall has come, the deer have adjusted to that and they're behaving different. We put a new dugout in here this year, and now we're finding the deer are coming through the alpha rack and out to the dugout first before they're heading south out to the ag fields. So all those changes that we made all year long have changed how those deer react. So we're set up on that south side, and we've filmed multiple times now our target deer come out of this corner through the plot and to the dugout. And our stand that's on the far south side right now, it's just not in the right spot. That stand on the south side is not where we're gonna get a chance at that deer. So we can either wait, but that's something that we don't like to do. We don't like to wait. So we came up here, we put this blind in on the north edge. We've got it faced to the southeast. This deer are gonna come out of this northeast corner. We're gonna put some Big and J out here. And when they swing around, that's gonna be enough to get them to come in there and stop before they head out. It's gonna give us a shot opportunity, because as it stands right now on that south side, we're just not gonna get a shot opportunity. And small changes like that can make a big difference. I mean, it's exactly that time of year when we should be in the stands. It's mid-October, the deer are moving, and our target buck is still utilizing this plot. We're in here changing things and putting on blinds. That doesn't help him feel comfortable, but the truth is, that south stand right now, it's not where we're gonna kill that deer. So we have to make those changes. It's hard to take that day or two off from hunting to come and reassess things, but sometimes that's what you have to do if you want to get that target buck on the ground. Whether it's early season, after season, mid-season, never be afraid to go in and make changes to that setup if you think that they need to be done, because hunting a spot that you know you're not going to get an encounter in, or you have a very low chance of having an encounter, is not nearly as productive as going in, moving that stand. Even if it bothers the deer a little bit, at least you're in a position that you can take that buck that you're after. So the story there is to not get stuck in that rut. You know, we thought we knew what was going to happen on this property, we got everything set up, and now it's apparent that we're not in the best spot. We could sit there, but we're going to spend a lot of nights knowing that we're not in a good position at an encounter with that target buck. You know, we don't want to come in and mess everything up and bother the deer, but I know that our best chance is to be in the best spot possible. And if that means coming in during the day like today when it's nice and rainy, covers a lot of our scent, we get another spot set up, it's going to stop us from hunting here for a few days, which is not the best case scenario, but at least in a few days when everything calms down, we can come in here and hunt. We're in a spot we might actually have an encounter with that target buck, and that's our goal at the end of the season. And that's your Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment for the week.
This week's Canadian Whitetail Scouting segment has been brought to you by Big & J Long Range Attractants. This segment of Canadian Whitetail has been brought to you by Hoyman Premium Tree Saws. Hoyman Premium Tree Saws, the first truly extendable folding saws.
It was kind of in the open, so I didn't really brush it in very good, but you know, we were hunting again over some Big & J. And at this time of year, all we're hoping for is the does to hit the Big & J and the bucks to follow. So that was the game plan. A couple days after I got that blind set up, you know, I had a day. So jumped in the Kimco, had about an hour quad ride to the spot, and you know, I was hunkered in there for the day. I was gonna film, shoot, and you know, just do everything. So got hunkered in, and man, I saw a pile of deer and some nice bucks at that.
We're trying to hunt the does, if that makes sense. The does will come and hopefully bring the bucks.
So that full day ended, seen a pile of deer, seen some nice up-and-comer deer, but just not the 5x5, the 10-pointer. And I knew I had this day that I just finished and tomorrow. I had it one more day, and that was gonna be it. So, you know, it was do or die, but that's whitetail hunting. So I got in there first light, and right off the bat, I didn't even have the camera really level or set up. I didn't have the crossbow even really cocked yet, and the deer are starting to move through on the ridge. Next thing I know, there's a buck fight off on the hill. I could see two bucks, and I looked through the binoculars and I could see two bucks fighting, but I just didn't know. I thought maybe the one was the big 10-pointer, but I didn't know 100% if it was or not. After them bucks broke apart, one buck went, you know, to the west, and another one come ripping through. And again, I was sure that that was the 5x5, the 10-pointer that I wanted to get a look at, but again, it was just little pieces of them going through the brush, and I didn't even have time to get the binoculars up when they broke apart. But I knew, in my mind, that was the deer that I come here to look at. I knew he was in the area, which was a good thing.
Bucks everywhere. That's awesome.
Again, midday, I look up, and I got a couple bucks in front of me, and here he comes. You know, the deer that I want to get a look at is coming down the trail right towards us. I look at him through the binoculars, and yeah, he's definitely a mature deer, and definitely a deer that I want to try to get a shot at. So as he works his way in front of me, he comes, there was a doe on the Big & J, he comes right to the Big & J and starts nibbling away at it, and I get ready for the shot.
crazy. That deer has been so hit and miss over the last, I don't know, 3 weeks. He's been here, he's been gone, he's been everywhere, but yeah, unbelievable. Speechless. Had an awesome season. Last hunter shot a couple days ago, and so it was my turn, and I set up a couple spots out and about and put some Big and J down, and they just couldn't resist it. But it's not the bucks you're trying to lure in, it's the does at this time of year, and that's exactly what we did. He come in looking for does, stopped to have a bite, and yeah, the old Excalibur.
The shot was about 35 yards, 34 yards, and I thought when I first shot it was a little bit low, but he run like 10 or 12 yards, stopped, and I looked through the binoculars again, and I mean, the sign that it was over.
You're watching Dean Partridge's Canadian Whitetail, North America's premier wild whitetail show.
There he is. Man, did he bleed. Look at that. Look at that deer. He is, I've had him on the trail camera in this area for, I don't know, 3 weeks. Just a big brute of a deer. But wow, I said it many times, I'd like to thank everybody that come hunting with us this year. I managed to get down about 20 miles south of where we were guiding this year. Put a couple spots in, and just in case I got a chance to hunt. And look at the big Roman nose, red forehead. Well, yeah, I'm just speechless. It's been such a fantastic up and down season. It's pretty cool to finally get your hands on a deer that, you know, you've been chasing around for a few weeks, and finally get the opportunity to actually do a little hunting. But after a month of being, or a little more than a month of being up here, I'm gonna get to go home, see the family, maybe do some hunting there with the daughter or the wife, maybe even Dean, you never know. Just a wonderful end to the 2015 whitetail season right here. Great buck.
So I had another great whitetail, and one that I took with Excalibur Crossbow. So all in all, personally, I love hunting whitetails. It's probably my favorite big game animal. I love hunting any animal all over the world, but the whitetail deer, I grew up, I cut my teeth on hunting whitetails and moose. You know, I guarantee that I will be hunting whitetails each and every year. They're just a super smart, especially when you're talking about cagey old bucks. Doesn't matter whether you're in the big bush in Northern Saskatchewan or deep South Texas. You know, it's a different hunt, it's a different animal, they act different, they're hunted different. It's just the whitetail deer. So I hope you enjoyed this week's show. Again, I love hunting whitetails as much as anybody, and just another great whitetail with a crossbow in the books.
Congratulations, Jason, on an absolutely beautiful Northern Saskatchewan whitetail. I mean, if we were hunting together, it probably would have been a little bit bigger, but that's besides the point. And all joking aside, I'm sure it won't be long, and I can't wait until we're sharing a stand in the deer woods together again. Thanks for watching this week's episode of Canadian Whitetail.
Closed captioning for Canadian Whitetail is provided by huntsask.ca, your information source for Canada's best whitetail hunting. Hunt Saskatchewan, Canada. Canadian Whitetail has also been brought to you by Ramcat Broadheads, hits like a ram, cuts like a cat, Kula Buck, portable walk-in cooler systems. Scott Archery, CBE bow sights, and Black Eagle arrows. Canadian Whitetail has also been brought to you by these fine sponsors. For exclusive content, follow Dean and the team on Facebook as well as on Instagram and Twitter @WhitetailDean. For Canadian Whitetail gear and apparel, visit CanadianHuntShop.com.